eggs, sesame oil, soy sauce, green onions. Garnish with adding in sliced green onions right at the end. This is the recipe for fried rice. Yeah. What
I don't know how to say it.
Just a quick note, guys. We got AJ, aka iiAnferny, on my podcast this time. The man has the sexiest voice in airsoft right now. Hence the intro where I just wanted him to read off a recipe. But sadly, there were issues with the audio. We actually made 2 separate recordings, but looking back, both recordings had issues. My volume was too low for the first main podcast, while his wasn't as audible in the second. So I sincerely apologize for that, but I do have subtitles for this, so that should ease the confusion a bit. Now, I won't be putting on Chinese subtitles as previous podcasts. Sorry to my Chinese audience. But it is just way too time consuming and I'm only just one man. But I will do a summary of our podcast in Chinese at the end. So feel free to check that out. With that said, let's go.
I don't know how to fucking say it.
All right. What is going on, Noob Nuts? Today we have one of my favorite airsoft YouTubers, influencer. He has the most beautiful voice out of everybody. All right, his production value is just insane. So I'm not sure if I can say your name correctly. So iiAnferny?
Usually I pronounce it iiAnferny.
iiAnferny. Can you please explain that? Because what's the name? What's that about?
It's nothing crazy. It was just a username that I had from 10 years ago. It was based off of like a gamer tag. It was like a trend back then in the late 2000s with the I in focus or I insane. I had a lot of friends with the I kind of thing, so I just put the I in front of my name. It's just random. That was it.
I see. Okay. All right. Cool. So iiAnferny, I got it. And by the way, your birthday is about to come up, or like, did we miss it?
No, it's actually coming up this Friday. Damn.
Ooh.
Already?
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, this Friday.
Week. Congratulations.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
How old are you gonna be? Can we ask?
Oh, yeah, you can ask. I'm a year older than Demo, so I'm gonna be 32.
Man, all right. Well, happy birthday. I'm
Appreciate
almost
it,
10 years older than you.
No way. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Nah. You look like you're 28 or something.
Well, thank you. I know. Good genes. So that's actually one thing I wanted to like grill you about, because in your last stream you said old people ruin the airsoft. I kind of took that personally, so we're gonna get into that.
Okay, no, for sure. No, it's a lot more than that, but yeah, no, we'll get to it.
Yeah, I get it. So usually, what I like to do when I have people here is that I like to do a sort of like a warm up. So can I do that with you?
Of course, by all
means.
means.
It's like a game. Just answer as fast as you can. Don't think about it. Yeah.
Okay. Go for it.
So first, favorite color?
Green.
Favorite state?
Steak?
State.
Oregon.
Oregon. Okay. Favorite state on the East Coast?
New York.
Favorite World War II tank?
Oh,
Don't think about it.
Panzer.
What? Panzer what?
I don't know, dude.
Okay. Spaghetti or sushi?
Spaghetti.
Okay. Natalie Portman, Jessica Alba, or Cameron Diaz in their prime?
Natalie Portman.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Best competitive airsoft player?
Shorty.
Okay. Best competitive airsoft team?
SYG.
Okay. Now I'm gonna put you on the spot. Best competitive airsoft league?
CSL.
Oh, okay. So we'll get into that, and I wanted to grill you because I know you played in a lot of different leagues, very experienced, and you also play paintball as well, right?
Right, I do.
Okay. You play Milsim as well too?
Occasionally, yes.
Occasionally. Okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the best competitive player is Shorty.
Yes.
Why?
Shorty, from Team Elite, I believe. One of the most fast-paced players right there. He's young. He's picking up a lot. There's just so much that he's able to gain in such a short amount of time, the only year that they've been playing. You see a lot of young kids out there, and you see them make the progress, but you don't see them being just as consistent as Shorty is. With the amount of resources, especially that his team and especially his father provide, that's definitely has excelled his skill level to where he needs to be, and he still continues to grow. So that's why I feel like he's one of the top right now.
You mentioned that your favorite league is CSL. Why is that?
I love CSL because they came out of the woodwork. It was just Keegan, and I think he was the one who just kind of brought it upon himself. No one else, and I think it was just him. He had more support along the way. CSL is awesome. I wish they were more on the West Coast, but for right now, they're more dedicated to the East Coast, which has been nothing but spectacular because of the amount of growth that's been coming out of it. Not just the league, but for the community as well. I initially was going to say SpeedQB, but I know deep down that CSL is kind of like the underdog. And from what Keegan has produced over the past few years, especially just like right in the middle of COVID, that's something that not a lot of people can produce.
Yeah. And I think we talked about it previously, is also that when you're on the East Coast, you just see all these things happening on the West Coast, and it's good to see somebody taking it upon themselves and making it happen. So yeah. Can you just start off by introducing yourself and your airsoft experience and all that thing?
Yeah, no worries. My name's Anferny, otherwise known as AJ. You guys have seen me play airsoft on YouTube for the past 3 years, although I have been playing kind of on and off for the past 10. Just recently started YouTube right before the pandemic with my little brother, and we just kind of took it from there. Filming has been kind of the most interesting part of doing this whole process on airsoft. Started SpeedQB after just doing a lot of rec play, and ever since then it's just been kind of grown from there. Met a lot of people through the community, not just locally but statewide, internationally, and it's just been nothing but fun, and it's been keeping me going ever since. And I want to bring back to the community by providing insight and a little bit more to help improve, whether that's your game or your perspective on a lot of things, because I know a lot of people have an opinion on some things, but hopefully we can all just come together and just play this hobby that we all enjoy called airsoft.
Yes, definitely. And you did say that you're thinking about starting your own podcast in the future, right?
Yeah, definitely. I see myself kind of taking a small break from just playing just a little bit and kind of engaging with the like-minded individuals in the community. A lot of people need a voice, and I feel like not too many people, aside from yourself, this beautiful man right here, is doing. But yes, I'd like to kind of get into people's minds and see what they have to offer.
You said that you started your channel after the pandemic?
Just slightly before. I think it was like around Christmas time, 2019.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you've been around for much longer than that.
No, I've had my channel for a long time, since like high school, but
Okay.
just actually being consistent was around 2020.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if you go back, you
I've
can.
seen you before. I think I've seen you way before that.
Yeah, I think 2020 was when I was just like in the Kappas, and then I was just trying to like really put myself out there, just trying to have fun at the same time.
Right. Okay. So before, when I watched your video, you would cover your face.
Yes.
So why is that, and why do you not do it now?
I'll still will do it occasionally. It's more now of just a habit, but in the beginning it was like I would see other reviews and I'd see other people do, their takes on airsoft videos, and it was just more like, for me, just not showing my face, just trying to get into the nitty-gritty of actually just showing airsoft stuff. Like, There was, like, for me at the time, there was no reason for me to show my face. It was just showing like what I was touching, what I was using, what I'm trying to show to the audience. And it wasn't really intentional, I guess. It just kind of happened, and it just kind of grew from there. And people just kept pointing out, like, "Hey, how come you don't show your face?" Like, I never noticed that. I'll just keep doing it then.
Yeah. Okay. I can't show my face because I'm actually a teacher. So I teach mainly kids, right? So
Got
I go,
you.
hey, beep, beep, beep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it doesn't really. Well, it was actually my wife that says I shouldn't, but
Right.
nowadays in some of the videos, like event videos, you'll see, but I still try to cover it up.
It's crazy. There's a lot of policies here too. I think there was a teacher that just got fired recently for streaming, and he was just
really?
like the nicest guy. Yeah, it's weird. There's a few articles out there about it, but it's crazy. Yeah, I think that's
Streaming about what? Well, maybe it was the content.
It was just no. It was just him being pretty wholesome. It was. I think he was playing like StarCraft or something. Just regular streaming gaming. But some schools have a policy of remaining professional and kind of keeping that contained within the classroom. Because I guess it's like you're a teacher, you represent the school. And some people see it that way, some people don't. So it's kind of interesting. See how all that plays out.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so old people ruin airsoft. What's up with that?
Oh,
What's
man.
wrong with you?
No, man. It's so. What do you consider old when you think about it?
50, 60.
Oh,
Older
man.
than 40.
Yeah, older than 40 for sure. But I think when it comes to airsoft, at least here in California, all the old heads that I've seen are at least I'd say like closer to 50, 60. Granted, there's a lot of cool people out there. But from my take and from a lot of friends that I've, interacted with, it's whether that's on the rec field or on the speed field, some guys are out there just trying to have something to prove. It just never, you can tell because they never let up and they always get angry. They're most reactive, and it never seems to resolve. And it's not something that's consistent. It's just something that I notice little by little. And
so maybe it's because these old, I guess you can say old guards, right? People have been playing for a long time, and maybe the scene has changed, but they never caught up.
Exactly. I think that's a good way to put it because you see people that are not willing to change, and they see, kind of like Speedsoft. They see it, they're like, oh, it's HPA. That's the devil's tool. So they don't want to mess with it. They're all just kind of in a way elitist. They're like AEG, Milsim, gas blowback, whatever that might be, and they just treat other people in a different way that aren't, I guess, conforming to their perspective.
Right. But I would imagine, like, at least in America, at least what I saw, Speedsoft scene is quite prevalent now.
I feel like it is. Some people even say that Speedsoft is bringing newer players to the scene, and some people disagree with that. But I feel like it's definitely starting to get there. I would go out to GamePod and I see younger kids in Milsim gear coming up to me occasionally saying, "Hey, I watch your videos. I want to get into SpeedQB. How do I start?" I would love to do that. Or other guys just coming out of nowhere. It's so fun. How do I start?
Right. Yeah, I think the same situation here because Taiwan is also Milsim predominant scene, basically.
Right.
And because the weather is perfect for GBB, so like that is the king. Like everyone uses GBB.
Yep.
Right? It doesn't get that cold here. The weather here is like Miami, Houston, kind of, if you can imagine that.
Oh,
right?
Sick. Okay.
Yeah. And also because the geopolitical situation between Taiwan and China, so people view Milsim as a way to sort of like drill and just in case for self-defense, which is good, which I think is good.
Right.
Yeah. But for competitive players, we definitely get a lot of pushback and, friction because of that.
Right.
Yeah, so
I can understand that. Yeah.
So it's not old people, just old guard.
Yeah, exactly. It's not everybody. I'm not trying to discriminate or be ageist or whatever.
Yeah, I get you.
But, there's some old heads out there, and I'm just like kind of seeing it in the NorCal scene. I'm like, oh, give it a rest.
Right. But hey, you got to be careful because that will creep up on you. One day you're going to wake up and you'll be an old head, right?
That's what I always think to myself too. I'm like, I hope I'm not like this, but I feel like I'm going to slip up one day and someone's going to make a video about me or whatever. And they're going to, they're going to say the same things I'm saying about who I'm, concerned about. So yeah.
Just got to keep an open mind, I guess, right?
Exactly.
So you've mentioned that the scene in NorCal, is it growing or is it?
So for now, I feel like it's growing. There's been some times throughout the year where I feel like it hasn't. It's been plateaued because you go to speed nights, you see people go out there, you don't see this, the crowd growing. It's always the same like 10, 15 people or whatever, which is cool.
Yeah.
But you want to see that variety. You want to bring out that awareness. And I see a lot of people doing that, but you don't see the results until way later. So now it's like, okay, there's more people, there are more teams. okay, cool, this is awesome. We can try to at least contain this, make it more wholesome for people, hopefully to keep staying in the sport. But I feel like it's getting there little by little.
Okay. Do you separate the category between competitive airsoft players, as in like they have to compete, or just Speedsoft players wearing, you know, paintball masks and colorful gears and all that?
I think
Do you group them together or separate?
I think we try to separate them, because now we have, you know, the people who are trying to at least be competitive, and then
Right.
Speedsoft, that's, you know, viewed as like a taboo thing almost in the airsoft community because of the mag dumping and stuff. Unfortunately, we have to differentiate and say, hey, this is us. We're not like that. We like Speedsoft. We like doing competitive stuff. We just don't like doing the very toxic aspect of what these other players are trying to do.
But I think you can also understand that there are players that likes this style of gear and fast-paced gameplay, but doesn't want to compete.
Right, yeah.
And then they don't mag them. So with that, what would you say to them? What would they be?
Still be Speedsofters. I mean, I think I don't want to categorize too many, you know, people into like many things, because then it gets confusing to everyone else, or especially the newer players or newer people in the scene, the Milsims, old heads, or whatever.
Yeah.
Because in the end, we're all going to be Speedsofters. We're wearing the different gear. We're not Milsimmed out. We're not doing CQB stuff as much. We're just out there playing another version of paintball, or we're just playing a faster paced version of airsoft.
I think rather than say maybe the whole group of Speedsoft players are like this or like that, maybe it's more down to the individual, right?
Yeah.
Because I think people tend to think Speedsoft is like this because it attracts more younger kids. So a lot of times you have to think about their age and, you know, their maturity and all that. But definitely not the whole group, right? I would say that I'm a Speedsoft player, but I don't mag them.
Right. We could say Speedsoft is cool. Unfortunately, in the United States, there's so many groups out here that take advantage of it, go crazy, and now there's a lot of fields that have to have these rules. So now everyone puts it in, you know, into their mind that like, oh, Speedsoft's the devil. So we have to try and bring that awareness a little bit more.
What are some issues that you've besides mag dumping? Are there any other issues that you would like to talk about that people shouldn't do when they go out there and play?
Try to call trades, calling hits, no spawn trapping. I think that's one of the biggest things I've seen in some fields, like in Miami, like in Florida. There's been a lot of spawn trapping I've seen based on videos, talking to other players and stuff. Trading has been kind of like a weird thing because, you know, you shoot each other at the same time, but somebody will say like, no, I hit you a second earlier, and they'll try to play it off and keep going, but you know, that kind of just ruins the aspect, of course.
These are fundamental, I guess, airsoft etiquette for all airsoft players, right?
Right. And you'd think there'd be a lot of etiquette going around, but some people just want to just be toxic. Some people just want to, or some people don't have an idea. So sometimes I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. But it kind of just depends, you know, per the individual.
Just be good people.
Yeah, that's it. Just come on. We're all playing.
Just be nice and have fun.
Toy guns, man.
Yeah. I mean, like when I go play, a lot of times, you know, like there's one time I put up a video when I was in Maryland playing, and this guy, like we shot at each other. I didn't feel nothing, so I kept playing, right? And he was like, hey, I fucking shot you. I was like, okay, cool. I didn't feel it. Okay, just let me know. I'm out. Cool. Not a big deal, right? You just go, and especially in the States, because when you do rec play, there's a unlimited respawn, right?
Yeah.
Then you just go back and you just play again, right?
Yeah.
Because in Taiwan, it's most of the times it's like single life
elimination. Yeah.
So if you get taken out the first like second, then you have to wait like 5 minutes to play again, you know. So if you get unlimited respawn, it doesn't matter, right?
It doesn't matter.
People shouldn't care that much about it.
It's weird. Everyone here in the States overreacts. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, but I think when you meet enough people, it's almost like everyone everywhere overreacts.
True. This is true.
Yeah, a lot of drama everywhere. Okay, so you have to drive 2 hours to your speedfield?
Yes.
How often do you do that?
I used to do it maybe when I was like really into Speedsoft, at least every weekend, every Saturday night.
Weekend.
Yeah, dude.
Damn.
But now it's like every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks. But yeah, I'd have to make it worth my while. So what I do is I'll go to CQB City for rec,
Right.
and that's like from 2 to 7. And then after that, I'll like kind of leave early. Like I'll get to the speedfield, which is the next field over SCA, and I'll get there like around 6, and I'll stay till 10 or 11, and then I leave, and then I don't get home until like 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I leave my house, it's like at 11 a.m., 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. in the afternoon.
Wow. Okay. Can I ask, are you married or in a relationship?
I am in a relationship, yes. I'm not married.
How long have you guys been together?
About 6 years.
6 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, your partner lets you do this?
Yes.
Like because I'm asking because I'm married.
Yeah.
I think for 12 years now. My wife is like, okay, you can only play, once every other week, and I have a lot of time that I can spend on in airsoft. Do you have that?
Yeah, I think that was one of the things that we kind of discussed about, because I got into airsoft like halfway through our relationship.
Okay.
And before I was doing other hobbies like skateboarding or drones, but airsoft was kind of like my second life. So I would just drive out to these fields, which was like a few hours away. But as long as it was like one day out of the week, it was fine. But the content is what like kind of took away some of the time, so I have to like balance it out,
Yeah.
So it's a balance, but as long as I had that open conversation every time, then it was fine.
Okay. So you used to do drone racing?
Yeah,
flying?
some racing, some I used to do FPV, but not as much because I can never figure it out. And then I have like the small handheld ones
Yeah.
that you can fly inside, so those are the ones I messed around with a lot. I try to integrate that with like filming for airsoft,
Right.
but I'd have to work around with the failsafe, and sometimes they would fly away.
Yeah. And if it smashes into people, that would hurt, right?
Yeah, it was a small one, so it wouldn't really hurt. It would just, I think the drone would probably break because it's like plastic on plastic, and the propeller, I think it was like a 3-inch quad,
Okay.
so it fits in the palm of
That's
your
cool. I
hand.
always thought about getting into that, but I don't think I can. Like, it seems difficult.
It's fun once you get the hang of it. You can definitely be creative with it, depending on the drone you get. I know everything's changed now, so I'd have to get like new equipment.
Okay. So your girlfriend saw the change from, when you didn't do airsoft and to you starting playing airsoft and starting making content, right?
Yep.
Okay. I think that's definitely something that is that will take up a lot of time. Same thing here, right? So you just like you said, you got to find the right balance and all that.
Exactly.
Very difficult. What is MilSpeed? So I think that's something that I've encountered. What is MilSpeed? I think that's something in America only. Can you explain that?
Oh wow. So MilSpeed, I think because it's another category for like speedsoft, but you want to remain tactical. All it is just putting on Milsim gear or any urban CQB gear, and you're playing at a fast pace. So basically the same as speedsoft. So without the paintball gear, you just have the Milsim gear, and you're just doing the same thing. Maybe not playing SpeedQB, but you're just going around the CQB formatted field or whatever, and you're just kind of just going around trying to get as many people as you can.
Okay. So tactically, you're playing more like Speedsoft, but then your gear and everything is still Milsim kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I think
Interesting.
that's the biggest thing a lot of people like is because we have KWA out here, we have a lot of influence from other brands, Umbrella Armory, and a bunch of other stuff, Crytek, Lancer Tactical. People want to soup up their weapons, and I think that's one of the biggest reasons why. I mean, they look at Call of Duty, and then they're like, oh, I want to replicate that onto the field.
Yeah.
And they come out with their own kits. They come out with their own plate carriers and stuff, and their helmets. And you see Demo with it, too.
Yeah.
When the SYG guys went out there to a Milsim event, they did the same thing. That would be considered, or at least probably what they think is MilSpeed.
But I definitely see more gear in the States where they will wear Milsim gear, but then they will wear like paintball mask.
Yeah,
right?
The dye masks, yeah.
Why is that?
I think it's more of a comfortable aspect. I've seen that. I think people don't want to wear like a mesh mask. Right. And then fog up their goggles. I think that was like one of my biggest issues when I was trying to do a little bit of Milsim earlier this year. Was just trying to find a good mask. So the dye mask seems to work out a lot in a lot of people's favor, and plus, excuse me, you could still mount up the GoPro. You could still kind of run around fully protected, and it's not going to fog up on you as much.
Yeah. When I first started playing, I was wearing like not really my Milsim gear, but like I would wear the goggles, and then like it would fog up, and I have to do this every time. So annoying. Yeah. So definitely, I think the paintball mask, the fact that it doesn't fog up like that is just, it puts so many points to that. Milsim, I asked you earlier, you do a little bit of Milsim. You do mainly competitive airsoft or speedsoft. Which one do you prefer?
I think right now the competitive scene, although I would love to dabble into more Milsim stuff. We don't have too many Milsim fields out here, but I would love to go to SoCal with a group of guys or whoever and just do like a Desert Fox event or something, just try to get a little taste of it. Or
Milsim West. I think that looks fun too.
Yeah.
I think I want to go. That's my next goal. The different competitions that you've been at. What are the different leagues that you've been to that you've played so far?
Well, first and foremost, SpeedQB. And then we have the Syndicate, which is a more of a local West Coast tournament style. CSL, I think. Mm-hmm. I think I did it once. And then NSL. Okay. So that's
you played NSL too?
Yeah, I played NSL a little bit. I wasn't really too focused, but I played like maybe 1 day's worth out of the whole 2-day weekend. It was cool. I think it's all interesting.
What are the similarities and what are some main differences? I know there are a lot, just some main ones.
Right. So I guess SpeedQB, CSL, NSL, I mean, you have the full 5v5 format. Everyone's got one goal. SpeedQB and CSL are pretty much similar, where there's usually a flag you'd have to run. There's a point system. I think CSL is just a little bit more lenient on the rules, where you can actually feather your weapon, walk the trigger, whatever. With in comparison to SpeedQB, where it's a little bit more regulated, you can't really do that too much. Although you could wrap around, they say you have to wrap around your whole entire hand on the grip, and yeah, you can do that too. You can do that. NSL is more like, from what I've been told, Bert, he was influenced by football. So you have an attacking and defending team, and then you have the flag, which you have to bring up as many, I guess, yards or zones of what they put it as onto the field. And then the more you bring it up to each zone, the more points you get. But then we got Syndicate. Syndicate's very interesting because they use a buzzer system, and it's all about the points. It's kind of a 5v5 format where you'd have to hit the buzzer in the middle. And I've seen a lot of teams now where they like keep one person on the other team alive. They try to keep them pinned, and then they keep hitting that buzzer until he's out. So you get how many points for hitting the buzzer? I think it was 25. 25 points. So every time you hit it, you just get 25? Yeah. So people can like get somebody on a corner that's unsuspecting, and they can keep hitting that buzzer, but the buzzer has to reset every like 3 or 4 seconds or something like that. Oh, okay. Yeah. So you can't just spam the button. Okay. You have to hit it, and it goes, red zone, 3, 2, 1, and then you hit it again, and then they count that. Okay. Yeah. When I reached out to you, it was because I saw one of your Syndicate video. Yeah. And from the video, I'll try and find it. I'll put it here, but it seemed like there was a coach figure on the sideline yelling comms to the players on the field. Can you talk more about that? Yeah, that's a newer game format that John had set up just earlier this year. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to kind of implement that into the NorCal tournaments because he hasn't really been out here too much. But it looks like from the SoCal scene, you have coaches on the sidelines letting players know where the other team is at. And then because it's so fast paced, it seems to kind of work out because not all the players are going to be listening to the coach. And what's another new thing that he did implement were the spawns. The spawns are something that I guess like once one team hits a buzzer, then whoever's out can respawn back in. And the coach would have to let those people know, like, okay, hey, come back in.
Okay.
It's
That seems very unique.
yeah,
That
it's
seems
it's
interesting.
very fast paced, very like if you paid attention or if you know what you're doing, I guess it works out. But so far it's just been nothing but chaotic goodness.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can I can see that. I think having the coach figure that adds an extra role for people to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's good. You mentioned that cheating. I think that's something that I wanted to ask you about. You can
Yeah.
share, but you said since we were talking about the leagues, you have mentioned that seems like CSL, SpeedQB are more lenient on cheating, while NSL is not. What did you mean by that?
So NSL, I think, is one of the first leagues to take accountability in with regards to their reffing. They implement that hardcore into the rules. Like, hey, if you don't call it, we're going to disqualify at least one player from your team for that day. So they even if you say get shut off the break, or if you get shot off and you don't call it, but the ref has to pull you out, then you get disqualified for that round or for the game or for the day, depending on the severity of the issue. Speaking of CSL, it's like you get hit, and I think up until just like recently, SpeedQB has been a little bit more accountable, but before it's just been play until the ref calls you out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that kind of mentality kind of like flourished all over the country because it wasn't really like that. People would play more honorably, but now you see teams just going crazy. And you'd see people get traded, but one person will just keep going and just keep hitting people, and it just becomes confusing. And then sometimes the refs will just be like, "Oh, well, I guess that whatever. I guess they're out."
So basically, compared to SpeedQB, if you get a no call or a late call, you just get points deducted, right? You don't
Right.
get disqualified right away.
No.
Oh.
Because last weekend we had the team I played with on Sunday, their second day, we had four pulls, which is grounds to have the other team pull out whoever they want on our team. So they pulled out Q, who was one of our better players, and
Quentin, right?
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, he was
From
playing
Asylum?
with us. Yeah, well, I think he's back on Asylum now.
Okay.
So I played with DVS, and then he was playing with us, him and Jason, and yeah, they pulled him out. So it was just like, okay, that kind of hindered our play, and we were playing against SYG. So it's interesting. I think Roy's kind of taking everything, and steps in the right direction because he is figuring everything out. He is trying to ask other people, like, hey, what should I implement? Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think this isn't? And I think SpeedQB is definitely evolving. It's getting more fun for sure.
It was always my understanding that people just call their hit, right? If you're going to call yourself a sports player, if you're going to say you play sports, then you play by the rules. You don't cheat.
Exactly.
Right? It's been stressing me out, man. Like, like after the tournament, like
Mhm.
people, because I'm a very approachable guy.
Yeah.
Yes?
Oh yeah. Of course. Of course.
So like a lot of people would start, like players and teams would start like messaging me about like, oh, about that. The ref didn't see that, or like, oh, this and that. And like, it would stress me out so much afterwards. So yeah.
Nah, I feel
So
it, bro.
that's why I was so happy when I was back in the States. I was just a player.
Yeah.
I didn't have to do it. I
Yeah.
was just a player. I was
Yeah,
so
man.
happy.
It's just nice to kind of just take that break when needed, and just kind of play airsoft for what it is.
I will visit you in NorCal when I go back next time.
Hell yeah, bro.
It seems like you said trends goes from the West Coast to the East Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
And that is so true, man. So look, when I was interviewing Keegan from CSL,
Mhm.
I was like, why did you start CSL? He says, well, it seems like the West Coast got all the SpeedQB and tournament, but on the East Coast, we got nothing.
Yep.
And I was laughing because I grew up in Maryland too. And same thing, like, all types of trend from clothing to music. It all starts on the West Coast. Like me and my boys back in high school, we're like, all right, let's make a pact. When we grow up, we're going to move out to California. Yeah, so you have no idea, man. Like you guys, California is like the land of dreams.
Oh man, dude, I can't tell you. It's crazy. It's weird because like, yeah, a lot of things in airsoft definitely started from SoCal, and I can see some of that coming over to NorCal and then the rest of the country. But some of the other stuff that I've been noticing more and more now, like the paintball stuff, has definitely been NorCal scene because we do have a lot of people who play paintball and play SpeedQB at the same time. Like the JT Pro Flex, I'm starting to see more people wear that now. The biggest thing a lot of people do now is yell, "Get out, get out, get out." You know, that's definitely a big paintball thing that I saw a lot here. And I'm guilty of doing that too, because I did that in the East Coast last year for EA Fest, and then I had my captain ODB. He's like, "No, bro, you gotta chill, relax, homie." I'm like, "Oh, my bad, my bad." Like, I'm seeing videos out there now, like everyone's just yelling it, "Get out, get out." You know, and it's crazy. And everyone's wearing headbands. Everyone's making their own stuff. Everyone's making their style, similar to paintball. But it's all stuff I've seen in the West. It's all just starting to headshots.
And it's pretty crazy. So you guys would differentiate between NorCal and SoCal as well, right?
Yeah. I feel like NorCal's been chill, more laid back than SoCal. SoCal is like, they're hungry. They're hungry for headshots and everything.
Yeah, and outside of America, I grew up in Maryland too. We just see America. And same thing, like all types of trend from clothing to music.
Right.
It all starts on the West Coast.
If we
grew up like in the States, we know like there's more like pack. Nuance between California.
So, exactly. Yeah.
But I gotta tell you, man, like last year, like about a year ago when I went back to the States, I was looking, I was like, oh man, finally I got to visit California. So I was really excited, right?
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's so much has changed in the last 10 years.
It rained the whole. So, anyways,
bro.
Anyway, it rained the whole.
Oh yeah, might be, bro. Might be. I might have to go out there. Wait, you were here? You were in SoCal for New Year's?
Yeah.
Oh snap! I was in SoCal around that time. Yeah, but it rained.
Yeah, it rained. It rained so much because me and my wife, we actually got a ticket at Universal Studios to do the countdown.
Yeah.
Right. You know what time we went home?
Like around 3, 4 in the morning.
5 p.m. We stayed until 5 p.m. But it was the rain was just too much. 5 p.m. We couldn't even stay until nighttime. Like, yeah.
Wow.
It was just pouring.
Okay. Wow. Yeah,
and then I remember when the plane landed, I walked out of the airport. I was like, all right, California. I was looking, I was like, oh man, it's a lot of trash.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's so much has changed in the last 10 years.
Okay, so anyways, East Coast is better now. Anyway.
Might be, bro. Might be. I might have to go out there too.
You mentioned that you were on asylum, but then now you're basically free agent. How has that been working out for you?
So I tear up my contract and just spit in their face and I'll dip. That's it. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Oh man, I was about to be like, we guys got a contract.
No. I don't think nobody really has a contract out here, and same with sponsors. Unless you're like really big, then you get a contract. But not like But with regards to leaving a team, you just you have that communication. You talk with the boys or whoever. You have the team meetings or whatever you guys do, and you just kind of like. I give him my reasons. It's more just wanted to kind of roll solo for a bit, take that break for myself, and then just have more time for the content and whatever else I needed to do. And I think that was more easier for me because of what I do, who I am. So the guys were like, all right, whatever. And I've been on like 2 other teams before I joined Asylum. So I think right now it's not worthwhile for me to be on a team, because we don't have too many events. I would rather just join whoever's team as a solo player, help out whoever, and just play. That's it. Okay.
How many teams have you played for in total?
I think like I want to say like it's more than 7 for sure.
Oh
like
wow!
Getting close to 9 or 10. Yeah, because whether that's smaller teams like spur of the moment, or just like actual teams, then yeah, like I've been going back and forth. We try to keep like a really cool relationship between everybody in the community. Just try to have fun. Because I know there's some teams that are out there that just like hate each other, and I'm just like, why? We're just playing with toy guns, bro. Chill, it's not that deep. But yeah, I know. I think just you see a new team, you try to help them out. I try to play with the younger players too, for like small local tournaments, and yeah, it's just pretty fun.
If the speedfield is like 2 hours away, how do you get the teams to all show up and practice? I think that's one of the hardest things because everyone's got a life, family, work, school.
Yeah,
it's so hard to get people to show up and practice.
Oh yeah.
How did your teams do that?
Because a lot of teams that are near at least the speedfield, kind of live within 20-30 minute range, and in some cases even closer. So I was kind of one of the odd ones out that, you know, couldn't make it to practice, that couldn't really do this or that. And that was another thing too. It was just distance. Like I wanted to just take that time away from driving. But teams do it. They do rent out the fields. They practice, especially for the NSL. For this year, I've seen a lot of teams come together, start practicing, taking time like once or 2 times out of the week. Again, it's just because they all live close to it.
Geographic proximity is very important.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I've had a few homies hit me up from my area. They're like, "Oh, bro, you know, when are you gonna go out there? Because I don't want to go out there by myself. It's too much. It's got to be worth my while." I'm like, "All right, bro, just let me know whenever." Or, yeah, just if you're planning on to. And sometimes it's like, okay, they can only make it like once or twice out of like a few months or whatever. But it's just kind of dedication.
Yeah, it's hard though. I think it's hard.
It is
so hard for people to show up. So last time we talked, you were saying that you were going to be free agent. And then just recently, you became a member of HSA. So congratulations.
Thank you. As soon as I became free agent, I kind of just had that in the bio for a little bit. I had the team. I left, you know, all with good intentions. Everyone was chill, whatever. Zanotti from HSA, I think he's the captain. He saw that. I mean, we've been pretty good friends for a minute, even though we haven't met in person. But we would always kind of, you know, chat on Instagram. He hit me up. He's like, "Hey, bro, do you want to join HSA one day or soon?" I'm like, "Let me get back to you. I need some time to kind of reflect and just do my thing for a minute." And I had enough time. I was like talking to another friend who's on the team, and he said, "You know, you can play with us anytime because we're all throughout the country. We're a little lenient, you know, when it comes to doing tournaments, so you can play with whoever. But when it comes to SpeedQB, if we're there, play with us." And I'm like, "Oh, duh, that's a done deal." So I like that leniency right now because I think with the competitive side, at least in America, it's not to the point where you can make it a profession just yet. So it's more like that hobby still. And I feel like it should be, you know, considered as such. You just go out there, have fun with the boys. That's all it is. And these guys are just really fun to talk to and be with. I already had a taste of playing with a few of them in LA in October, mid-October for the SpeedQB champs. And it was cool. It was great time all around. So I was thinking to myself, like, yeah, I need to spread my wings and actually get out there. Like, I'm low-key tired of the NorCal scene.
Okay. Yeah, I think I know of HSA Scotto and HSA Doc. Well, I've chatted with them a couple times. I think just Instagram. That's it. Yeah, and I know that they're all over because previously there was a member in Maryland that was hitting me up before I went to the States, but I think he's not on the team anymore. But yeah, so you're talking about the team's leniency. So I think that's actually something that you're looking for. That's actually interesting because I was always assuming on the side where when people join the team, they would expect like team practices and drills and stuff. So you're saying when there's too much of that is actually too much. Is that what you're saying?
It can be. Because where I see it right now, if there's practice but not an end goal, and there's no improvement, then there is no point. And I've seen that a little too much, at least in my community, where the intentions are right, but there's no growth. So it becomes to the point where it's not as fun. It becomes more of a chore rather than the original aspect, which go there to have fun, shoot plastic at other people. So.
When you play competitively, what position do you play? What's your favorite platform?
I loved playing front player, but now I'm more laid back as a mid player.
Yeah, I get that. It happens with age, man.
Yeah,
it happens with age.
It does. I need to start keeping myself in shape. But last year I was definitely a front player, and I think the last time I did it was at EA Fest, playing it like on Snakeside or going all the way to Castle, like 50 or whatever. But now I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna make it to D1 and just keep calling out, and then just move forward from there if necessary. As a front player, you try your best to keep your head up and move into position like snake 1, snake 2, whatever. But you can't. I had a hard time kind of listening to people in the background, like, okay, where's this guy at? Where's this other guy at?
That's what I was going to ask you, comms, right?
Yeah.
Yelling out like yelling out comms, but then also at the same time, how do you receive them? Because same issue, right? It's so many things happening on the field. It's so loud, BB's ricocheting. How do you hear the call out?
In the beginning, it's just like everyone's yelling, kill 2, D2, or what? We try to work on it. We try to work as a team to try to at least be a little bit more awareness. We try to avoid the calm tunnel vision, because once somebody sees something, they just blurt it out like multiple times when it should just be like once or twice. And then we try to have like at least a conversation in between, like, hey, where did D2 go? Did you see him go this way? You know, instead of just saying, oh, snake corner all the time. So I think just holding at least some like direction into the conversation or the communication, it should definitely mesh well with like your understanding.
I think it also has to do with the size of the field and the time limit. How long is a round for a syndicate, let's say?
I think it's 5 minutes. Very long.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Same thing for NSL, right? 5 minutes? Oh, 15 minutes.
NSL is 15 minutes. Yeah, 15 minutes.
That's insane.
So you got to keep playing.
3 minutes for SpeedQB, right?
I think so, yeah.
For us here in Taiwan, because right now the speed field, the competitive field we have, it's in the central part of the island, but most teams are in the north, about 2 hours away.
Okay.
So we have to make sure the event has to be done in one day. So we have to really condense the time. So for us, one round is only 1 minute.
Wow.
So everything happens super fast. So if you watch our games, everyone just starts rushing for the snake, for the flag, and everything.
Yeah.
Because it ends in 1 minute. So because of that, like I think it will affect the comms. There's basically no time to talk.
Exactly.
Yeah, like when you ask a question, you get flanked already. So that's very different.
Wow,
very different.
That is different.
What, in your opinion, makes a good team? And I'll ask you what makes a good player too. Give me like 3 qualities.
Making a good team. 1 is communication. 2 is organization. And 3 is health. Staying in shape.
Health.
Yeah, staying in shape.
Staying in shape.
I've had players who like are kind of naughty. It would take a shot or 2 before, and it affects their game. Or people who don't know like how their stomach will be after drinking a full thing of coffee or having snacks. I've seen players make a dash to the bathroom after the first round. I'm like, bro, for real? Yeah, health, staying in shape, knowing what you got to do, prepping and all that stuff.
Organization, what did you mean by that?
Organization, like
logistics?
More like knowing your plays, knowing how to fill in for other team members that are down, like moving up. Because when I see tournaments and I see like especially newer teams that could come out and play, they just stay in one spot. They get tunnel vision. They don't know how to have that situational awareness. So I think that's very important.
So kind of like synergy, strategy.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that's very important. What about player?
Player, at least being prepared. And again, health, I think. And then the last one, I know is a good one. I always think about it, but it's
airsoft etiquette.
Etiquette, yeah, that's a really good one for sure. Just being nice can definitely bring you very far in the community. Because you hear some like weird stories about people who are just not nice, and they're like, stay away from that guy. I'm like, whoa, dang.
I've encountered maybe like a couple.
Yeah.
So same thing. We have that issue with Speedsoft, Milsim crowd.
Yeah.
And I was one of the first to sort of dress as Speedsoft players and go play. We didn't have competitive events at the time. I was out, but I left one of my gear on the field, and they were playing. The field was big. It's a big CQB field. So I went back to the field to pick up the gear. I turned around, and this guy had his pistol like just pointed at me. But I wasn't playing, but he was pointing at me, and he was looking at me like he wanted to kill me, like, bitch, like, I got you now. I was like, oh, hey, whoa, hey, my bad, just picking up my things. And he was still pointing at me like about to pull the trigger, I'm like, hey, okay, I'm out. I'm out
the
already.
hell?
Yeah, he was really pissed for some reason.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. But I mean, usually the people I've met's been nice. I mean, in Taiwan and America as well.
Yeah.
So I have I can't get it now. The Taiwan SpeedQB patch, right?
Oh yeah, I have that too.
What do you have there? You're from Taiwan? What?
Dude, okay, so because like Roy has the SpeedQB headquarters, and hold on, I had Canada somewhere. It's like right there on my desk somewhere. But upstairs I have Japan, I have Brazil, I have Netherlands, I have Thailand, I have China. I have like I think the whole collection. And because Roy, he has the whole patches and everything at his headquarters. There was one day he's like, "All right, fam, go at it." I'm like, "Wait, what do you mean?" He gives me and of course a few other people like a bag. He's like, "All right, go for it. Just take one, just whatever you can fit in that bag." I'm like, "All right," and I got the patches, and he's like, "Yeah, go for it, man. Just don't show it to anybody." I'm like, "All right, for sure." Okay. So I never wore them because he did make the USA patches I think 2 years ago. Yeah, which is what I wore. But yeah, no, I have all the other country patches out there.
What? Because I visited Roy and Sapa at their headquarters too, right?
Right.
And he sort of did the same things. Yeah, what do you need? Like, just grab. But I was being humble.
Yeah.
I was like, can I take the Japanese one? I only asked for one. You took everything?
Well, because I was talking to him about it, and he's like, "Oh, yeah, no, bro. Yeah, by all means." I'm like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "Bro, it's okay." I'm like, "All right." So I took some patches. I took like maybe 1 or 2 shirts, but that was pretty much it. And I think I got a sweater. I think. Yeah. I think I got a sweater because it was hella cold that time. I'm like, "Bro, thank you so much. You don't know how much this means to me."
I gotta go back and visit him again.
Yeah, dude, he's super chill. He's super nice. Oh, I stayed at his place last weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he let me hang out at his place for the weekend because I guess they got a new editor, Scotto. So I talked
HSA
to
Scotto?
Yeah, HSA Scotto. So I stay with him and Scotto, and I guess Sosa's also staying at his place too. So I hung out there for the weekend.
So what happened to Fabs? Because Fabs was editing the films, right?
Fabs is still there, I believe. He still has a part. 2? Yeah, I think so. I'm not really sure what's going on, but they're still all working together. I saw Fab there because we had a kickback at his house that Saturday, and Roy was there. He was getting turned up. And yeah, everyone was having a good time.
Okay. Dope. I was gonna say, so when I grew up in the States, when I told people I'm from Taiwan, but they'll be like, "Oh, Thailand, like Thailand is great." Not the same thing.
Well,
Taiwan, Thailand, not the same thing. But now because with this Taiwan SpeedQB patch, when I go back, because of the situation with Taiwan and China, you know? Yeah. Now everyone knows Taiwan. They're like, "Oh man, you're from Taiwan. What is it like? Like, oh my God, is it scary?"
Yeah.
Like, so it's sort of like, I guess the fortunate thing coming from an unfortunate situation. Like now everyone knows Taiwan. So when I went back, I had the Taiwanese patch, and everyone that became like a conversation starter. And I got to meet a lot of players in America, and they were super nice. And so I had a good experience. So that was good.
That's good. Yeah, I remember learning about Taiwan in school, but then I think what like really notarized it for me and I think a few of my friends was, I think it was like PUBG. And this one guy, he's like, Taiwan number one to a bunch of Chinese players, and they all got upset. That was the best thing.
That is a very sensitive topic. Thank you for joining the podcast. Anything you would like to add to this? Any questions or things you like to say? Shout out.
Shout out to all the boys out there in NorCal. Nene, D-Ron, everybody. No, I'm just kidding. But Damien, Nick, Alger, Scotto, Darren, you guys are all, the boys made it happen, and we were just messing around. Those are the guys who like believed in me, and we were just like I said, messing around and just kept going at it. Don't burn yourself out. I think that's one of the most important things, especially something that I talked to Demo about recently. When I went out there to SoCal, don't burn yourself out. Take everything little by little. Occupy yourself with hobbies or other interests. If airsoft is gonna, continue to feel like a job, try to space that out if you can. It's airsoft shouldn't be that deep. We should just keep playing because we love it, and it's just a hobby or a sport, whatever you guys think of it. And just make sure it's not gonna take over your life. And just, that's it. Just have fun, bro. Just it.
Yes. Yes, sir. Well, it's funny you mentioned that. So we were talking about how you got into airsoft, and when I started playing airsoft, my wife was there, and then she saw the time and energy I was putting in, like like you, in videos and now events, and just a lot of effort and energy. And at one point, she was like, "Why can't you just get into like breakdancing? Why can't you just get into like like poker cards or something like that's so much easier and cheaper?"
Yeah. That's the biggest thing. My girlfriend always looks at me like, "Are you gonna buy something else again?" I'm like, "No, the sponsor kind of got me this time. Kinda. What do you mean, kinda?" But yeah, it's just kind of give or take. You got to like see what works and what doesn't, and then
work-life balance, hobby-life balance.
Yeah. I'm so like relieved I had a chance to talk with Demo because he just came out of like in a parking lot randomly, and I was like, "What's up, bro? How you doing? You doing good?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm doing good, man. It was good seeing you again." And I asked him like, "Can I ask you a question?" And he's like, yeah, go for it." And like, "How do you deal with this? How do you deal with that? Being the creator that you are." There was one question, he's helped me so much like with insight, and I'm like, "Okay, for sure, I'll take that to mind." There's one question I forgot to ask him though, was like, how do you deal with as a content creator, because like in America it's crazy, it's there's a lot of issues with race and everything. Being a person of color, how do you deal with it? And I felt like I should have just asked him that on the spot because I hella forgot to ask. Because there are some people who feel like they don't get the opportunities because they're a certain color or they're a certain gender or anything like that. So it's interesting to see kind of like everyone's viewpoint on that. Like for me, I'm just chilling. Like if the opportunity is there, oh hell yeah, let's do it. But I don't see it too much on my end. I just wanted to get some like clarity. Like, all right, if it's there, how do you deal with it?
Right. I feel that this industry at this point in time, I think it's more or less accepting of people of minority like us, Demo, and I think that's not that big of an issue, but I can't speak for other people, and especially me. I'm only in Taiwan, but it feels like it's okay, not that big. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting too. I'm getting, I've had some homies hit me up from like East Coast saying like, "Man, I'm pretty sure it's because you're not, you're not this or that or what." I'm like, really? I didn't really get that perception, but sure, I guess like maybe. But yeah, it's everything's mixed. Everything's has got a lot of variety, and I think it's all of like the brands and everything is not just in the United States. It's also from other parts like Taiwan or Hong Kong, Japan, wherever.
Right.
And we have that variety. We have different groups of people playing. It's just fun. It's a hobby.
And when I went to Cali, I went to the mall to buy something. Yeah. It was very obvious though. The whole mall, I was walking around, I was looking around. I told him, I was like, "Yo, it's all Latino or Asian people."
Yeah.
Like, wow. Like you don't see that, like like the whole mall.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like on the East Coast, Maryland's not like that.
No.
I'm like, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Same over here, like NorCal and San Jose. We got the biggest like Mexican and Filipino population. And then I think it's like Vietnamese and then it's like, of course, Caucasian and African American, whatever. But yeah, no, San Jose got a lot of Filipino friends, got a lot of Mexican friends. Oh, Indian too. Yeah, it's just like a crazy mixed bag. It's fun.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. Insane. Thank you, iiAnferny, and good luck on your podcast. You said I'm invited.
Yes. Oh yeah. Of course. No, get away. Okay. No, just kidding. Yeah, of course. I got you, brother. Don't worry. I got you.
Okay, cool. And for anyone who hasn't subbed, make sure you go follow his channel and Instagram. I'll put the link in the description and all that. All right. And good. Talk to you next time.
Awesome. Yes. Have a good one, bro. Right. Thank you so much for having me on. Appreciate you.
OK， 好了，那iiAnferny现在他是 HSAAJ，基本上他是一个非常声音非常性感的一个选手。那他的制作的品质，影片的品质也非常的高，你可以非常推他的频道，你可以去订阅他的 YouTube 还有 Instagram。那基本上这次就是没有做全程的字幕，不好意思，因为真的太花时间，然后有比赛刚完，所以就真的没有什么时间做任何事情。那基本上就是这边做一个简单的讲解。那他基本上是一个7弹选手，那也有打 SpeedQB 或 Speedsoft。 然后他偶尔也会打 Milsim。那所以在美国呢，他基本上各大联盟都有去参加过，从 NSL 到 CSL 到 SpeedQB，都还有 Syndicate， 他基本上都有打过。那他是在北加州，那美国西岸北加州，美国50个州。加州这个州，就基本上跟日本一样大，所以它当然就分北跟南。那所以其实自然而然，他们的竞赛跟生存文化，北跟南也是会有一点差。他会觉得说，北部他们比较 chill，那可是南部就比较竞争性一点，他们非常的就是很认真的在打这样子。那他就是过去这一段时间也有就是看到南部有在成长，只是成长一开始会觉得没有，就是速度比较慢。那之后他慢慢发现，也就是在成长这样。那我们之后还有聊到，就是因为其实很多人可能没有在玩的，可能会就是说speedsofter 就是这样子。可是其实我们也会分像 speedsofter 跟有在打竞赛的，因为毕竟不是说戴上漆弹面罩的花俏的，就是 SpeedQB。然后那不一定说 SpeedQB 就只是普通休闲玩家，有些休闲玩家他可能喜欢这样子玩这样子的打法，可是不想要参加比赛。那这样子怎么去区分呢？其实会有区分，可是也不是所有的人，知道吗？就是像假如说有些人会说，那竞赛选手基本上会比较有克制自己的玩法，因为都有规则什么要 follow。那如果比赛的时候这样做，可能会被扣分啊，或是被禁赛等等。那因为 Speedsofters 不会担心这些，所以他们可能就是那些常被骂的，就是撒弹啊、鞭尸什么的。那当然也不一定，因为其实像有些Speedsofters 就不会这样子做。所以其实这个也是要去考量到的。那基本上最后聊到就是，那有些事情要什么就是不能做的。那基本上其实聊到最后，不只是 speedsofter， 不应该说，就是基本上你玩生存就是要注意的一些基本生存礼仪啦。对啊，就是不要鞭尸啊，然后不要撒弹、乱撒弹啊，然后你知道吗？出速啊，然后就是很基本，我觉得就是算是基本礼仪，大家应该大致上可以了解的。然后还有聊到就是，假如说像美国现在有一种玩法叫 MilSpeed， 所以就是你可以想象就是 Milsim 跟 speedsoft 混在一起。那因为在美国其实这两个群体已经算是够以同等大小啊，所以自然而然大家就会开始去拿捏这个方式这样做，好像这个方式装备比较好，怎样，然后就开始混打。那这也其实蛮有趣，大家也可以考量的，就是你可以看到有一些可能穿军装，可是穿着球鞋，然后漆弹面罩，然后拿一个花俏的枪等等之类的，然后这个其实也是一个不错的一个演化啦，你可以去这样子看。然后他其实有聊到，其实他参加不同的这些联盟有什么不同。他有说，其实像 CSL 跟 SpeedQB 对于无喊比较宽容一点，就只是扣分嘛。那可是 CSL 不是NSL。欧洲的 NSL 就比较严格，就是如果你被抓一次，你可能就被判接下来4场就不能打，这样子，所以他们是很严的。那之前其实LA Kappa 有来的时候，他有说就是他们其实是真的抓很严，那也有选手跟他抱怨说 NSL 太严格了，所以其实我是觉得在台湾目前我算是打比较有人性化一点，至少我们还有挑战的这个系统，基本上国外是没有挑战的这个系统，或是选手不能挑战判决或是联盟的任何决定，所以这个也是大家可以去考虑做一个对比的。然后他说他原本其实那个时候我采访过他2次，然后第一次因为音效不好，所以第2次就是回问他一些问题，那第2次音效也不好，所以就不好意思。他原本第一次采访他的时候，他退队了，他就想要当一个独立的选手哪一队需要他就去帮哪一队。可是第2次采访他的时候，他参加 HSA， 那 HSA 在美国这一队我之前有跟几个玩家就是聊过天，那他们算是在全美都有选手，所以他们算比较宽容一点，所以他们就说，如果你要去打比赛，他可以参加哪一队都可以。可是如果是打 SpeedQB， 然后 HSA 有出现，他就是帮 HSA 打，所以他相对也比较喜欢这样子的这个互动，在队上的这样子的一个条件，所以他现在算是 HSA 的。然后当然就是也有聊到一些技巧啊，跟他场上打的这些位置什么的，所以其实都蛮有趣的啊，就是欢迎可以去了解一下。只是就是说，这是真的没有时间去翻中文，不好意思。那好，那接下来我也会找一些其他的国外的一些玩家，然后跟大家分享。那如果有时间，我还是会打中文字幕。OK，so see you all next time.